Dollar index, now we are based on daily chart. Okay, as we can see, based on the daily chart, what we want to look for the up move. We want to see whether we can put this correction in relative to this too or not. Okay, but now the question is whether we need to wait the price break this low before we look for the up move, or the price can reverse from here. It depends, but for me I will be more interested if the price break this low before we take the up move. All right, based on daily chart, I mean if you want to trade based on the long term, but based on lower time frame, based on 4 hours, now the question is how deep this one can go, how long we will have this move down, we are not sure. Okay, before we take the up move, that's mean we look for the buy. Whether we get the opportunity to look for the sell, yes, there is a possibility, like we have a correction here. Okay, now we want to see whether we can get, but right now we don't have any sell setup. But the thing is, if we want to look for the down move, sell, all should be considered as a short term, because based on the higher time frame we say we are more interested in the up move. That's mean if we get any sell setup, as long as we get into the profit, we move our stop loss to break even. Now we have this correction. Now we want to see whether from this correction we can get any down move. Okay, right now we don't have any trade setup. The only option is having entry below this, but the thing is, having entry below this, we are looking for the sharp move down. If the price hit and it's correcting, we take out the trade. Okay, maybe we can wait for 1 to 3 hours or 2 hours. If it's not moving, we take out the trade. What we wanted, we want a sharp move down. Alright, this is the only way we can trade based on what we have right now, and any sell from here we consider as a short-term trade. As long as we get into the profit, we move our stop loss to break even, because based on the higher time frame we are more interested in the up move, and we don't have any buy setup right now. Even we don't have the confirmation for the reversal. We need to wait and see how we can trade it. Okay, in this case we move. How about the silver? As we can see today, silver, gold and the oil, we have a really sharp move. Now the thing is, just I want to analyze what we have been talking about these pairs since last month. If you remember, if you refer to my last video, when we have a silver, one of the option was we said we're looking for the up move. This is the only correction, and what we wanted, we said we want the price to break this high before we look for the down move. And what we can see here, that's why we wanted to sell when the price hit the top. Okay, as we can see, the price hit the top, break this top and sharply move down. Due to any reason, we don't care. The only thing is we wanted the sharp move down. Okay, now the thing is whether we can have a continuation or not. Okay, right now we don't have anything. The only times we can see whether we have a continuation, that means we can look for the sell again. We should get the correction here. We are not going to sell without having a correction. And as we can see here, the only way to sell for this one was selling from this correction. Rather than that, from here we don't have any trade setup. That's why in my videos I explain the ways this correcting, why we can look for the down move, and why we have to wait the price to break the top based on the higher time frame. That's why I was explaining since last 4-5 weeks what we are looking for. Okay, and as you can see, due to any reason we get this down move. Now the thing is whether this one can continue at least to come to this level, or the price can reverse. Any of them can happen because of the sharp move we have it. But do you want to look for sell? Right now we don't sell it. The only times if we get a correction, and we don't wait for the really long correction. If we get the deep correction, is better for us. Okay, but based on this kind of the move, if we get any 3 to 4 or 5 hours, we don't know. If we get any small correction, any flag, we can look for the sell, and the sell, when we get into the profit, we should manage may similar to what we have here. This one is not a small correction. Okay, that's why we need to see what we get here. Any sharp move down, we try to manage it. Okay, now the thing is the only times we sell if we get a correction. Rather than that, we just leave it. All right, this is based for the silver. How about the gold? If I move to for daily chart again, if you refer back to my last 4 weeks analysis, we were looking for the gold, the price to break the top, then down move. This is what we get it again, because we have a lot of the reasons why we want the price to break the top. Okay, I was explaining, and even I was referring to the indicators, but what we can see here, the price break the top, but we didn't get the divergence. That's why I was explaining all the times. Again, do we have the divergence? We don't. That's why I was explaining, even here we don't have it. All the times we don't need to rely on the divergence. We need to see how the chart is moving. Okay, again, may the drop can be due to any reason, but we don't care. The only things we wanted to get the drop, and the things is there was no sell opportunity within this one. The only times was if we could get the down move exactly from here. This is the only option we can have it, and this is the correction. That's why sometimes I refer to the correction, why the way I was explaining my last video, how we have a correction, how we need to look into the correction. Okay, because this kind of the move, as we can see, after the price drop, we didn't have any opportunity. The only opportunity was when the price was at the top. Okay, anyway, whether there is a continuation or reversal, we are not sure. If there is a continuation, how deep it can go, I think at least we can look to break this low. But the thing is whether we want to trade within this range or not, because we are not sure whether the price can, if the break this low, can continue or not if we look based on higher time frame. Okay, that's why we put our expectation the price at least come to this level. Whether we want to trade within this, okay, do we have a trade set up? We don't. Okay, again, for gold, if we want to sell, we wait for the correction, but better if we want to sell, the silver can be a better option if we get a correction. As we can see, the gold drop a lot. For me, I'm not interested, even there is a continuation. If I get the sell based on the silver, I can trade, but the gold, not too interested. And if we move to oil, even the oil based on the forward daily chart, we have similar the charts. That's why I put all these things together. Again, if you refer to my last videos, I mentioned that I want the price to break this low, give a divergence. For the oil, I was mentioning the divergence because it was obviously clear we have a divergence. Then from there, we say we want to look for the up move. Even we can see we have this up move. Alright, because at that time we said this is the only correction within this two and this move. Now the thing is whether we should expect for the continuation to this top, or when the price come to here, we should look for the bigger correction. But what we have right now, we don't have any information. We need to see whether there is a continuation, what we get here. Then from there we can make a decision. Alright, and based on the oil, we have really nice trade setup. Based on the forwards, we had the correction. Even internally, we had a correction. Okay, but right now we don't have any more any more trade, just a move up. And as we can see here, this is the flags, a small flag we added. Sharp breakout of this correction. That's why all the times I say we should get the correction. Okay, breakout of this one, flag, trade. All right, do we have any new trade? We don't have it, and we don't know how sharp and how high this one can go. Also, there is a possibility for the reversal. That's why anyone is in a trade, at least move their stop loss to above this or somewhere around this. It depends. Okay, it depends on the traders whether they want to put here or at least somewhere around here. I put. Okay, now the thing is, if we want to look for buy, we should get the correction here. We don't buy, we do the correction. And do we need to buy? As we can see, how about if we get the buy, the price come to this high tag and reverse? Yes, the possibility is there. Alright, then it depends on the traders if they get the correction within this. If they get the buy when the price come to this high, they manage it. But I really don't suggest it buy within this range for the traders if they don't have the experience, because the possibility of the reversal is there. Okay, Anyway, we don't have any trade setup. We want to see what we get here. Then from there we can make a decision. The only things I can say right now, if we want to buy, we should get the correction before we look into the buy. And if we get a buy, as long as the price come to this level around 42, we should manage it. Okay, how about if the price drop, then we are not going to buy. We need to get correction within this range. Even for the silver, similar, and because if we want to look for sell, we should get the correction within this. If the price reverse sharply somewhere around here, we are not going to look for sell. Similar to gold. Okay, but as I say, we are for the gold, I'm really not interested for the sell, even if we get opportunity, because of what we can see here. Alright, because of the only times if the price break this low, we see the continuation correction here, then we can look into it. But within this range, it depends on the traders, but for me, I won't sell it. Anyway, just I wanted to explain what we were expecting since last 4-5 weeks, even for these three pairs, silver, gold, and oil. Why we were explaining the price have to break the top for the silver and gold, and for the oil break the lowest price based on the 4-hour or daily chart and give us the divergence, because we were expecting for the sharp move down or sharp move up. Okay, anyway, what we were expecting since last a few weeks, we get it. Due to any reason, we don't care, because we just working based on the chart. Whether because of the news or any other reason, we don't care it. This is how we can get the sharp move, because if you refer to my last videos, all the way was expecting, we want to get the similar to what we have here, because in terms of the time, the way is moving can give us a better trade. Okay, but before we to look into the trade, we need to get a confirmation. And even I was explaining, if we want to look for the sell or buy, may we get a few times sell within the correction, but it doesn't move. It doesn't matter. We try and like over 1 or 2 or 3 times, but if we get a nice move similar to what we have here, because this kind of the sharp move within the after the price move, the possibility of the getting the trade is not there. Anyway, we just follow the chart and see how we can trade it. And right now, we only things the only ways we wait and we get the correction. Anyway, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, then I will share on YouTube. Thanks.